Hello guys, this is Mr. Jimenez from Warren County Middle School. In this lesson, we are going to write some equivalent expressions for this 4 exercise right here. And even we're going to try to find some square roots and cube roots, okay? So let me start with these equivalent expressions, okay? So you can see we have numbers, we have letters, we have some small numbers called exponents or powers, and also we have some operations. We have addition, subtractions, and we have parentheses, okay? So we need to remember two things about the expressions, okay? The first thing we need to remember is something called like terms, okay? So what are like terms? Terms are expressions with the same variable and powers, okay? So please remember, when you have an expression like this, let me show you, like 2x to the third power, okay? Each part has a different number. So the number for this is the coefficient. The name for this is variable because this is the letter variable, and the name for this is the exponent or the power. Excuse me, the exponent or the power. Okay, so when you want to check if you have like terms, you just need to take care for the variable, this part, the letter, and the power. If you have the same variable and power, that means you have like terms, okay? Let me show you an example about this. For example, if you write negative 5a to the second power and 7a to the second power. So, do we have the same variable? Yes, we have a. Do we have the same power? Yes, we have the second power. So, these terms are like terms, okay? But if you have something like 5a to the third power and 8a to the second power. So, do we have the same variables? Yes, we have a. But what about the powers? Check it out. We have the third power and the second power. So, no, we don't have the same power. So, these terms are not like terms, okay? So, please remember, if you have the same variable and power, you have like terms. Now, the second thing we need to remember is the product of powers. This is a rule for powers. So when you multiply powers, you need to remember that if you have the same base, okay, remember the base of the same variable, you are going to keep the base, okay? But what are you going to do with exponents, with the powers? You are going to add the exponents, okay? So, for example, if you have b to the second power times b to the third power, okay, again, you must keep the b, the variable or the base, and you add the exponents. So, what is 2 plus 3? Very good, 5. Okay, let me show you something different. For example, if you have t to the second power plus t, t to the second power times, remember this is just for times, that's why we have product of powers. So t to the second power times t times t to the third power. Okay, so we keep the t, the base, and we add the exponents, okay? So we have 2, we have 3, and what other number do we have right here? Okay, So we don't have a number there, but we can suppose that there is a number. Okay, this is like a invisible number, and the number is the number 1. Okay, so please be careful. This is the number 1. So what is 2 plus 1 plus 3? It is 6. Okay, so remember, when you multiply powers with the same base, this is just for the same base, you keep the base, the letter, and you add the exponents. Okay, that's it. Okay, so now we are going to try to solve these situations right here. So we need to write equivalent expressions for each of these expressions. I'm going to try to show you this very fast. Okay, so look, we need to remember the like term situation. So if you identify, we have just, we have just two like terms right here, okay, 4y and 6y. So we keep the 2x, we keep the 7x squared, okay, and we need to combine 4y and minus 6y, okay. So we need to combine 4y minus 6y, okay. So what do? Again, we keep the variable, the y, and we subtract the numbers. So what is 4 minus 6? It is negative 2. Okay? So after combining these like terms, you're going to have minus 2y, this expression right here. Okay? And that's it. It's easy. Now, let me show you the second exercise, this one right here. Okay? We have 2x squared, parenthesis, 4x squared plus 2x. So how do we solve this? First, you need to understand that we are going to multiply like this. We are going to multiply each term out of the parentheses by each term inside the parentheses, okay? So we are going to multiply 2x squared times 4x squared. Okay, so if you remember the property of powers, the product of powers, we are going to have something like this. We multiply the coefficients, so 2 times 4 equals 8. And x squared times x squared, you keep the x and you add the exponents. What is 2 plus 2? It is, it is 4. Okay, so the answer is 8x to the 4 power, raised to the 4 power. Now, we are going to multiply 2x squared by 2x. Okay? So, you multiply the coefficients, 2 times 2, it is 4. You keep the variable and you add the exponents. So, what are the exponents right here? The exponents are 2 and remember 1. Okay, so what is 2 plus 1? It is 3. So the answer for this exercise, it is 8x raised to the 4 power plus 4x raised to the 3rd power. We don't have like terms right here, so that means we can't combine these terms. Okay, so this is the answer right there. This is the answer. Now let me show you the third exercise. This is a little bit harder, because we need to use the like terms idea and the product of exponents idea. We're going to multiply using those parentheses, so it could be a little bit harder. So let me start showing what do we do first. We are going to multiply x times x squared. Okay, so what do? We keep the variable, the x, and we add the exponents. So remember, the exponent right here is 1. So what is 1 plus 2? It is 3. So we're going to have x to the third power. Okay, what else? Now we are going to multiply x times x. Okay, so x times x. Again, you keep the variable and you add the exponents. The exponents right here are 1 in both cases. So 1 plus 1 equals 2. Okay, so you're going to write here plus x2 to the second power, okay? Now, finally, we're going to multiply x by -1, okay? X times -1. So we are going to multiply, and it will be just -x. So we write here -x. And then we're going to write this, we're going to write down here this x to the second power. Okay, but now, if you can see, we have these two like terms, okay? So I'm going to write here the x to the third power, okay? And if you have x to the second power minus x to the second power, so you're going to cancel these expressions because they are the same, and one is positive and the other is negative. So you're going to cancel these two, and you're going to cancel this, and you are going to keep this other expression. Remember the sign, minus x. And that's it. This is the answer. Now, finally, the last one exercise, okay? This is easy. This is very, very easy. Why? Because you're going to multiply the first expression, y to the second power, by each one of these, okay? So what is y to the second power times x to the second power, okay? So it is the same, y to the second power, x to the second power. You can do nothing more, okay? So the answer is y to the second power times x to the second power. And then what is y to the second power times 1? Excuse me, y to the second power times 1. So it will be just y to the second power. So you're going to write here plus y to the second power. And this is the answer because you don't have like terms, so you can't combine like terms, okay? So that's it. Thank you so much for this part. Okay, so finally we're gonna find some square roots and cube roots, okay? This is very easy. We don't need to think about rules or properties of exponents. No, we are just need to think about multiplication, okay? And that's it. So let me show you what is the square root, okay? When you are trying to find the square root of a number, sometimes you write this like this sign. This sign means square root. Even if you can write the square right here, the number 2, and it means square root, okay? So what is this? You need to find a number, and this number have a special thing. I mean, you need to think of a number such that when you multiply this number by itself, it will be 4, okay? And there are two possible numbers with this condition. Let me show you. The first number is the number 2, because 2 times 2, again, 2 multiplied by itself equals 4. And also you have the number -2, because -2 times -2 will be +4, okay? Remember, negative times negative will be positive. So you have two numbers, two possible numbers, the number 2 and the number -2, okay? Remember, what is the square root? The square root is a number such that multiplied by itself will be the original number, I mean the power. Now let me show you what is the square root for 81. Okay, so again, we need to find a number such that each number multiplied by, this number multiplied by itself will be 81. Okay, so think about the multiplication. So for example, try with 7. What is 7 times 7? It is 49. So you need a greater number. For example, 8. What about 8? 8 times 8, it will be 64. So you need a number greater, a greater number, okay? So what about 9? What is 9 times 9? Good job, this is 81. So 9 times 9 is 81. And also, if you multiply negative 9 times negative 9, you have positive 81. So the two possible answers will be 9 and negative 9. Okay? It's easy. Now, what about the square root of 25? Okay, which number multiplied by itself equals 25? I know it's easy, you can take your time, but the answer will be 5, because 5 times 5 is 25. Also, negative 5, because negative 5 times negative 5 is 25. Now, finally for this, what is the square root of 144? Okay, so which number multiplied by itself is 144? The answer is the number 12 and negative 12. Why? Because 12 times 12 equals 144. Okay, the same for negative 12. Now, we're going to try to find the cube root. Okay, cube root means you're going to find the root, but in this case is the third, the cube root. So in this case, you need to find a number, okay? You need to find a number, and when you multiply this number by itself 3 times, you're gonna have 8, okay? And this is easy. The number is the number 2, because 2 times 2 equals 4, and 4 times 2 equals 8. Again, when you multiply the number by itself 3 times, you are going to have the number 8. So the answer right here is the number 2. Okay? In this case, we cannot use the negative numbers. Why? Because if you multiply negative 2 times negative 2, you will have positive 4. And if you multiply again by negative 2, you're going to have negative 8. So this is not the same answer. So we cannot use the negative numbers when we want to find the cube roots. Okay? Now finally, what is the cube root for 125? Okay? So we need to find a number, and if you multiply this number by itself 3 times, you're going to have 125. Let me help you. The number is the number 5, because 5 times 5 equals 25, and 25 times 5 equals 125. So the answer right here is just the number 5. Okay, that's it. I know you can solve some similar exercises like this. So please take your time. Thanks for watching this video. Remember, please write your comments or anything you need. I will be here to help you, okay? Thank you so much.